What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Real Conservative Talk. We are back here with Zach. What's going on, Zach?
What's going on, everybody?
So, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, is taking...
Guy.
Huh?
Said fantastic guy.
So, I've never liked Aaron Rodgers as a player.
Really?
Well, I'm a Brady guy, and they always want to put him in that conversation that he's as good as Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls. And Aaron Rodgers has only even seen one of them and won one.
He's still pretty good, though.
I'm not saying he's not. He's a great talent. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying that I just never thought of him much as a player. Even though he's a great player, I just, thought he was overhyped.
Okay.
But he's taking a lot of heat, and I've gained a lot of respect for Aaron Rodgers this past weekend after watching his interview on the Pat Mcafee, and we're actually going to run through this, Zach. And I took some notes, but I want to play a clip. And this clip is on Undisputed, and it's of Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless talking about Aaron Rodgers and what they think should happen with Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is after they said he should be suspended, and Shannon Sharpe went as far as saying that Green Bay should lose draft picks. So
well, wait a minute. Before this, let me ask a question.
Yep.
What is their sports knowledge? Like how?
Shannon Sharpe is a Hall of Famer.
Okay, so he's a Hall of Famer.
And Skip Bayless has been doing sports reporting. He's very knowledgeable about sports. This is what they do. Zach has played sports. He just doesn't watch a lot of the sports media guys.
I'm with you. I'm trying to make sure everything is prefaced before everybody hears.
Like very experienced, way more than we are sports wise. Wow. Way more knowledgeable than us.
There's a lot of moronic things about to be said. That's why I wanted to get that prefaced.
Well, so they're not. It's not their opinion on sports. It's their opinion on things outside of sports.
Correct. I understand. I'm with you.
Okay, so
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just stating.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So here's the clip.
Rounder. I'm start talking about I'm not saying they should lose a first rounder, but if you want to take a second rounder or a third round draft pick, that would get Green Bay's attention. And I'm glad Bradshaw called him on his bull jive. He said he lied.
Cosign. Well, you said it. We said it.
From day one,
yes.
Skip, he lied.
Yep.
Skip, and what I don't understand, Aaron Rodgers would never take advice from a financial guy about his training, about film study. But he's going to take advice about a virus from a comedian and a UFC commentator. Ivermectin, I think I'm saying it correctly, Skip, is a dewormer.
It is.
It's given to animals for parasites. It's also humans can take it if they have a parasitic infection.
Correct.
But it is not for a viral infection.
It has not at all been proven to treat COVID for sure.
And he's taken ivermectin. He's taken hydrochloroquine.
Yep.
He's taken a whole lot of BS that's been disproven.
All debunked.
Now, he didn't go to
Can you go ahead and pause that real quick,
disease
please?
special.
Okay, first things first. I understand we want to watch more of the clip, but first things first.
Okay.
First things first. Both of those, ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine, have both been proven to help with COVID, to cure COVID.
If I agree with you. I'm just going to say this. If it has been proven, it hasn't been disproven either, like they said.
What do you mean?
So he said they have been debunked and disproven, saying that it doesn't work at all,
right? Which
is wrong.
Correct. Because what they just said is incorrect. Because first off, ivermectin is not only a horse dewormer. That is not the only application for it. Yes, there are people who went out and they did take the horse dewormer version, but there's a version made for humans, and you can get it from doctors.
So I don't know if you know this, but as I was looking up what ivermectin was also used for, okay, you and I both took ivermectin. In fact, you gave it to me. Our freshman year in college, we got scabies. And that's what they gave us to get rid of the scabies. Because it's it's a parasite, right?
Right.
And to also build off of what you're saying, using things that aren't directly for what that medicine was supposed to be used for. I have Tourette's. You want to know what the medicine I took the longest amount of time to help suppress my tics were? Amoxicillin, antibiotic. Now, Tourette's is not a bacterial infection.
Right.
The reason they gave it to me, the doctor's theory, was, first of all, it's not going to hurt me. Mm-hmm. Well, in fact, taking antibiotics over a long, extended period of time probably does more bad than what ivermectin does to you.
Probably.
If it's given you at the right dose, okay? Mm-hmm. But he said that it could help maybe reduce some of the inflammation in my brain that helps suppress the threats. You know what else I've taken is blood pressure medication for it. So when it comes to Tourette's, I've used a lot of medicine over my lifetime that wasn't for the exact, specifications of what that medicine was supposed to be used for.
Yeah.
So, but go ahead and continue your rant.
Well, and the reason I'm saying this and the reason I wanted you to stop is because the media has done their best to debunk and cancel out those two items, because those two items don't fall in line with the people who are paying the media to get the information out. And that's my problem.
I agree. He said that, I'm quoting Shannon Sharpe, he said that Aaron Rodgers took the hydrochloroquine, the ivermectin, and a whole bunch of other bull jive, is what he said. Quote Shannon Sharpe. You know what the other medicines he took was? Zinc and vitamin D, like some vitamins.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like when I had COVID, I took vitamin D, vitamin C. I took quercetin. I couldn't get my hands on ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine, and then I took one other one. I forget what it was, but it was just a standard vitamin. But I took those vitamins, and those vitamins did more for me than pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
I didn't have to have the vaccine because, contrary to what Dingleberry 1 and 2 over there are talking about, the COVID vaccine has been proven to not do what it's supposed to do. That is proven. That is a scientific thing, that the COVID vaccine is basically a giant load of bull snot. All it does, potentially, is lessen your symptoms.
Yeah.
That is it.
So
it doesn't prevent you from dying. Doesn't prevent you from getting it. Doesn't prevent you from spreading it. Nothing. Nothing.
No, to give you guys perspective, Zach didn't get the vaccine. He has had COVID. I am vaccinated. I have not had COVID. However, I'm not going to say I haven't had COVID because of the vaccine. I would say more so I honestly have not been around many people, or I don't even know that many people that have gotten COVID, to be honest with you. So that's just a matter of my environment. But just giving you more perspective, I just got it honestly to get it, not for any specific reason or whatever. I'm not going to go as far to say that it isn't proven to help, but it does not eliminate risk, and it doesn't even substantially eliminate risk.
No, not even close.
Okay, but I would say that it does reduce risk. What it doesn't do, though, is keep you from getting it, and it doesn't keep you from transmitting it.
Correct.
This is important for the later on in the conversation, all right, Zach?
Okay.
That turn.
Okay.
Now, I want to go through Rodgers' interview, and I want to clarify to people what exactly happened with Aaron Rodgers for the people that haven't been and watched the 45 minutes of the Pat McAfee interview, okay? So Rodgers said that he did in-depth research on each of the 3 vaccines available that the NFL was allowing them to take, and that was the Pfizer Moderna, which is mRNA, and the Johnson & Johnson, which is a single-dose vaccine, and it's made differently than the other 2. Rodgers paid a team of medical experts that specialized in this field and consulted with them and found out that he had an allergy to an ingredient in the mRNA vaccine. So right off the bat, he could not physically take the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine. That left him with the J&J vaccine. Now, I took Pfizer. Britt and I both are vaccinated, Zach. We both said we don't want the J&J.
Nobody did.
No one did. They had issues with blood clotting. Was the one thing that concerned Aaron Rodgers. Now, blood clotting would be big for someone like Aaron Rodgers because he plays a collision sport. He's at risk of injury. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay? But he consulted with a team of medical professionals that he paid and determined that none of these were healthy for him to take. Okay? Now, next, I want to go over what the NFL COVID protocols are for someone who's unvaccinated as opposed to someone who is vaccinated. And this is per Aaron Rodgers, who plays in the NFL, in his experience. If you're unvaccinated, you must test every single day early in the morning. And you have to wait in your car. So you're testing in your car. You have to wait in your car until you receive a confirmed negative test. If you're vaccinated, you test once every 2 weeks. And as soon as you take the test, before you even get the results, you just go into the facility and start doing whatever anyway while you wait for your test. Okay? He has travel restrictions. An unvaccinated person can't leave the hotel when they travel, and he's not allowed to eat with the team on any occasion. So it's breakfast when they're practicing or team meals, anything like that, which is a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Very big.
Yeah. He has to wear a mask everywhere around the facility. Vaccinated people don't. An unvaccinated person has to work out on a whole opposite end of the weight room, so away from everyone else that is vaccinated. Okay? He's not allowed to see anyone after the games. He's supposed to do press conferences via Zoom. That's another funny one we'll get into. And when he does test positive, he has to sit out for 10 days. A vaccinated person, once they test positive, only has to show 2 negative tests in a row. Now, Alan Lazard, another receiver. So Devontae Adams, we all know, which is a receiver on the Green Bay Packers, got COVID last week and missed last week's game. He's vaccinated, fully vaccinated. Alan Lazard, who is another receiver, all right, who's not vaccinated, was in close contact with Devontae Adams. Never tested positive for COVID. Tested every day after being in close contact with Devontae Adams, and tested negative every time, but had to sit out for 5 days and missed a football game. Reed Blankenship at MTSU, Zach, last year, missed 60 days of summer workouts and camp going into the first game because he was in close contact. He never tested positive for COVID. This is last year.
It's a joke.
So, the problem with the NFL restrictions here, Aaron Rodgers argues that the unvaccinated people inside of the facility are actually the safest people to be around because you know every morning that they don't have COVID, they wear a mask, and they stay away from everyone. Okay, so they're not even around people to catch COVID, really. The only people they're really around are vaccinated individuals. He got COVID from someone who was vaccinated, which we're assuming is Devontae Adams because of their close relationship, quarterback and wide receiver. And we know that Alan Lazard, who wasn't vaccinated, didn't get COVID. Any thoughts about this so far, Zach? You want to keep going?
Go ahead.
So, Aaron Rodgers made another comment and said that the GMs and owners in the NFL were colluding against people that were not vaccinated. He heard some of them saying that they wouldn't sign people and even threatened to release them if they didn't get vaccinated. Now, Colin Kaepernick, also, people want to compare Colin Kaepernick. I've seen a lot of these memes where people compare Colin Kaepernick to Aaron Rodgers and how, Kaepernick got fired for kneeing and colluded against, but Aaron Rodgers only gets 10 days.
Colin Kaepernick got fired because he's a moron.
Hold on. I'm getting into that. The commonality here is they both claim to be colluded against. All right? The difference, though, is that Colin Kaepernick was a terrible quarterback when he got cut. And so he said that it was a racist issue why he got colluded against, right? That they didn't want him in the NFL. However, his play doesn't back it up. Aaron Rodgers is held in the category of one of the greatest of all time by a lot of people, the majority. So his play isn't the reason why he would get cut or suspended, and no legal actions would be a reason that he got suspended. You can literally pinpoint the one issue or reason why they would penalize Aaron Rodgers. You can't do that with Colin Kaepernick because Colin Kaepernick had a terrible year. He got cut. He was doing poorly. In fact, he wasn't even starting the game that he was kneeing. And then he did the whole kneeing thing and the whole activist thing, right? So there's like 4 or 5 issues there that someone could make it an excuse on why he got cut. Aaron Rodgers is just one. That's it. Now, people want to say, oh, well, he lied. Do you know how many fucking coaches lie in the NFL? Do you know how many people lie in the NFL? Do you know how many people lie every day? I've probably told 2 or 3 of them. Just like little things that you don't even know, you don't even pay attention to. If you're going to suspend Aaron Rodgers for lying, you had to suspend everyone. Tebow even said that to Stephen A. Smith, and it kind of shut him up. But the other problem I have with this is that people are saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers should be kicked out of the NFL forever. Like, we're not talking about a few people here. We're talking about people like Shannon Sharpe, people like Skip Bayless, Rich Eisen, Stephen A. Smith, Terry Bradshaw. The whole fucking media in sports is saying this. You know why? Because they work for a network that is forcing them to say this, because they can't say anything about the vaccine other than this one thing. It's literally the whole point and freedom of the press has been thrown out the door when it comes to COVID. The First Amendment right, freedom of the press. Think about this. CNN and Fox News and all of those can lie and lie and lie about anything. About what Joe Biden does, what Trump does, what everyone does. But the moment they say something, that one of these people on ESPN say something bad about the vaccine or go against the grain, they're done.
You're right.
Or they say something on Facebook, they're done. So what do? They feed into the damn problem. Mm-hmm. Because I guarantee you, do you know how many black people don't take the vaccine? A lot. It's not Trump voters. It's not, or just Trump voters. It's not just conservatives. It's just everyone. There's just people that just don't want to take it. And they have that right.
You're right. They do.
And Aaron Rodgers even said that. He said, the liberals are all about my body, my choice. The only difference with their argument with my body, my choice is it concerns another living being and not just themselves. Mm-hmm. If you don't get the vaccine, it does not hurt anyone else in the room other than you.
Correct.
Because as it is scientifically proven, and we know because the person that gave it to Aaron Rodgers was vaccinated. In fact, I bet you there are more vaccinated NFL players that have gotten COVID and died from COVID than unvaccinated NFL players.
For sure. 100%.
Because if you're in a room with 10 people and 9 are vaccinated, 8 people can still get COVID, and the guy that wasn't vaccinated may have gotten COVID before and may not even get COVID in that room. Here's the other thing. Now, Aaron Rodgers, when he goes back, Zach, since he's had COVID, does not have to take another test for 90 days.
Good.
Well, it's good, but think about this. He lost an appeal with the NFL. He sent the NFL, his medical expert team that he paid, put a 500-page research report on the door of the NFL, and they basically threw it out and told Aaron Rodgers, quote, vaccinated people can't get COVID and they can't give COVID.
There's pure ignorance.
So Aaron Rodgers said, I knew I was going to lose the appeal when they said that. Because it's not true, but that's what they said, and that's what they believe. But now that he's had COVID, oh, well, you don't have to test for 90 days. Why? Because your immunity's better. So think about this. If you could get COVID and you had a way to just, you feel bad for a day, you do whatever treatments Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers are doing, mm-hmm. You feel better, you test negative, and now your immunity is better than having the vaccine. Wouldn't that be ideal for everyone?
Yeah, for everyone, but not for the people who are spitting out all this information, because they're not going to be making the money that they're making. Exactly.
So we've talked about this before. At least I've used this term. We haven't gone into depth on the cost, but we've talked. I've said this before. I said the COVID vaccine now is almost like a because the government spent all this money on it. It's like we bought your dinner, you're going to eat it.
Yeah, that's a good way
regardless of how it tastes.
That's a good way to put it.
Right? So do you know how much, or do you know what the average cost of ivermectin is?
It's not a whole lot.
For 100 tablets, it's $2.90. Do you know what it costs per dose of Pfizer vaccine?
Probably a lot more than that.
$19.50 is what the U.S. paid per dose. So you add that up, per person that got the Pfizer vaccine is $39. A person, okay? That took Pfizer. For the Moderna, it was $15. It was $16 for the Novavax program and $10 for Johnson & Johnson. It was $4 for AstraZeneca. Now, I list those off because Pfizer didn't take any money from the government to make their vaccine. They just got basically an order from the government saying, when it's done and proven, we'll buy it from you. But the other companies, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and Novavax and whoever else actually took money from the government to do the research and develop the vaccine. So that's the difference between Pfizer and the other companies. But
that they're government funded.
That's why they're a little cheaper. Because Johnson & Johnson said that they're not going to
I'm with you.
Sell it for profit. But
I'm pointing out the fact that it's government funded.
Yes. Well, theoretically, it all is because we get it for free.
Yes.
But the cost, so it is estimated that global spending on COVID vaccines through 2022 will exceed $51 billion. All right. Mm-hmm. And over $175 billion over the next 5 years. So there's a huge economic opportunity for companies with the COVID vaccine.
Yep.
As opposed to $2.90 for 100 tablets of ivermectin that gets people better. You feel better within a day or two, and then you're immune.
It's not about helping people. It's about making money.
The one quote I took away from what Aaron Rodgers says, and you and I have discussed this on this podcast, there's no profit in healthy people.
Nope. No, there's
no
not.
money to be made if everyone's cured.
You're right.
That's why cancer is the way it is.
Diabetes is the way it is.
Yeah. Well, some diabetes, not type 1 diabetes, but some diabetes, like type 2, where you get it later in life when you're fat or whatever. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it's 100% preventable because I think some of it's genetic. I don't think they actually know, but you can do a lot to try and not get it. Mm-hmm. Again, it goes back to taking care of yourself, taking the vitamins, exercising every day, getting some sunlight, vitamin D. Mm-hmm. So, Shannon Sharpe said, and I don't know if I played the clip long enough, he wanted to consult a comedian and a podcast guy, referring to Joe Rogan.
Very healthy individual.
Who is very healthy, yeah. And said that Aaron Rodgers wouldn't consult a financial guy about his physical training. It's not the same. Because all he did was he talked to Joe Rogan after he tested positive for COVID and said, hey, man, what worked for you? I guarantee the conversation said, hey, I know you got better. I need to get back on the field fast. What did you do? And who do I need to talk to? Because he even said that he consulted with his medical professionals and a team that he paid a lot of money to research this and give him the medicine. And someone had to prescribe the ivermectin to him. So he had to have consulted with a doctor.
You're right.
There's no different than me saying, hey, Zach, who did you go see when you needed shoulder surgery or something like that, right?
Right.
What's the difference?
There is none. Except that Aaron Rodgers went to, for the lack of a better term for the people that I don't agree with, he went to holistic doctors. People who are actually in the business of being a doctor to help people.
Homeopathy or homeo...
I don't remember.
There's a name, homeo something.
People who want to actually help people who aren't in it for the money. That's who he went to. He went to people who are actually going to help
He just tried to do it naturally.
Yep.
And these people that they want to crucify Aaron Rodgers for saying he was immunized Well, he didn't say he was vaccinated. He said he was immunized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You need and people need to go read the entire page of definitions that the CDC has, not the first definition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into that because immunized doesn't necessarily mean you took the vaccine. It just means you're immune. You have an immunity, or what you believe to be an immunity. And if Aaron Rodgers actually believed that he had an immunity or a stronger resistance than, or as strong of a resistance that the vaccine would have given him, then he wasn't wrong. He didn't really lie. And honestly, it's not anyone's fucking business.
No, it's not.
It shouldn't be anyone's business. This is the whole thing that we've complained about when it comes to the vaccine. No one is saying not to get the vaccine. We're saying don't force people to get the vaccine.
It's your own personal choice. You don't want to get it, don't get it. If you do want to get it, go right ahead.
We don't ask people. You don't go around asking people, do you have your flu shot?
Yep.
No. Absolutely not. Because no one cares.
You're right. I also don't go around asking people if they took their acetaminophen today for my headache. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Zach said a really funny joke today. I'm usually the one that comes up with those.
Yeah. Sensitive topic here.
He said, for my headache. Yeah. Yeah. They got, but the difference is you would have to take your own Tylenol for your own headache, Zach.
Not according to COVID rules. According to COVID rules, you could go in and take acetaminophen and it'll fix my headache.
I'll have to check that on the CDC website. Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I'm just saying, according to them.
It protects you. It protects other people from you.
That's right. You don't have to take
because they're the ones giving you the headache.
That's right.
So they need to take the Tylenol. Gotcha.
That's right.
I see what you did there.
Yep. It's funny, isn't it?
So the girl has to wear the condom then, right?
Yep. That's how you prevent it.
But that's only to prevent her sister from getting it.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you don't want her to catch any,
I gotta wear a condom so my brother doesn't get pregnant.
That's right. Well, that, and you got to make sure so your younger brother doesn't catch any STDs from his friend's cousin's sister-in-law.
Huh.
It's funny how stuff starts to not make sense once you put it in a different light.
In a simple light.
Mm-hmm.
That's some of these. Okay, let me go back. Do you know what the average time to make a vaccine is, Zach?
I think it's 2 years.
2 to 5 years for the research and development phase, but up to 10 to 15 years. This is off the health.ny.gov. I try to get my sources off a .gov website, even though the .gov is full of shit. We all know this, but for purposes of the mainstream media and what is acceptable, they all take it off the .gov website. So I try to get the sources from there. So that is off of theirs. Now, we have taken this vaccine within 7 months or so of COVID, maybe 8 months of COVID being an outbreak that everyone even worried about, is when they developed the vaccine in, January is when Biden and Kamala took the Trump jab.
Yep.
And it's funny because Rodgers also brought that up. And I actually, if you guys haven't seen, you need to go check out the YouTube channel, Real Conservative Talk. I made a video about this. All the stupid shit that Biden and Kamala have said that has come back to bite them in the ass. The one is, quote, will you take the vaccine under Trump? And Kamala said, if Trump made it, I'm not taking it. And fucking boy, if she didn't stand in line and get that thing as soon as she could.
Oh, she did it on TV.
Before she was vice president.
She did it on TV.
And so did Biden. It's the other thing is these booster shots. We're going to have to go back every 6 months
100%.
and take a new shot.
It'll never end.
And it's going to be. And when is it going to become not? When are you going to have to start paying for it at $40 a pop or $100 a pop?
Eventually,
because there's also a source that I read today says that Pfizer is looking to increase their prices from $19.50 to upwards of $175 a dose. Once after the pandemic, so they're giving you a pandemic discount, or the government a pandemic discount right now. There's a lot of money that's going to be made on this.
Oh yeah, it is 100% financial play.
It goes back to another podcast episode we did, Zach, where I ranted that the reason why, one of the reasons why we won't do free healthcare is because we can't afford free healthcare, because we already spend more than any country percentage-wise on healthcare, because we have more fat people than any country percentage-wise that need healthcare. But we don't want to focus on preventative stuff like PE in school and physical activity and vitamins. Right?
Why would you prevent one of the biggest money makers in the United States?
But it's also the biggest cost.
They don't care about that.
Well, you know that, obviously, now. Because
if you got rid of unhealthy fat people, the health organization would lose their mind. Because if you took majority of the overweight, obese, unhealthy people and you got them to be healthy, eat correctly, exercise, all that kind of stuff, majority of their problems would go away.
Well, a fact.
And then there goes all the cash flow that all these health companies had. They'd be done. They don't want to do that. Well,
a lot of the cash flow. People will still have health issues, but it puts more focus on the people that need the help.
Right.
If you could eliminate 70%, let's say 70% of fat people were fat because they just were lazy and didn't move and ate bad. And then the other 30% because of something an issue, right? I can't remember that off the top of my head. The numbers in another podcast episode, go listen to it. But it's a substantial, it's more than every other country spends total on their health care.
I believe it.
It's how much the government already spends. And we don't even have free health care. So it's not that, it's not a focus. No, we're already spending more than everyone else percentage-wise. This isn't total in dollars. We're bigger, right? No, percentage-wise. So we're really spending crazy amounts more on healthcare than every other country, even the ones that provide it to every citizen. We're too fat is why we don't have free healthcare. It's not because the government don't want to fund it. And the government still wants to fund it because they're financially irresponsible. We know this now after this infrastructure deal just passed and all the shit they have in there. But it just goes to saying that these people want to crucify Aaron Rodgers, and it's the people that are the little bitches. The reason why I do this podcast, Zach, and I told you when we started this that I was going to talk the way I talk, right? I've not held anything back. And I'm not going to, if I get canceled, I get canceled, whatever, but I'm not going to, feed an idea to people just because that's the proper or the commonality. That's what Shannon Sharpe and these people are doing on ESPN and all of them is wrong.
100%.
If you believe that, then I'm fine with it. That's fine. But not everyone believes it just based off of the statistics of everyone thinking differently. But everyone has the same thought on this. And what's funny is that the regular people that aren't on the media, right, half of them agree with them and half of them don't. Well, wouldn't you expect to have half of the people in the media with the same opposing views? But they don't want to get fired.
Nope.
So they're going to talk shit.
You don't want to break status quo. Don't do that.
And what's funny is that ESPN really thinks, and I say ESPN, but Fox Sports, all of them, because it's all of them now, really think that their viewers agree 100% wholeheartedly with their opinion on this. And that's the stupidest thing ever. That is the stupidest thought they could have, because it's not true. Because this is something that they think that, it's only Trump people that aren't taking the vaccine and they're a danger to society. No, they're not. And it's not just the Trump people. I told you, the government employees, 17% of government employees or 18% of government employees are black. Like, over 50% of the black population is not vaccinated. Biden received over 50% of the black vote. So that means most of the black people that aren't vaccinated voted for Biden. And they're the ones at risk of losing their jobs because of the vaccine mandates. It's not a racial thing. It's not when I see how many people that I respected that are on sports media, you know, that I was like, well, I actually agree with a lot of the stuff they say. They start hammering Aaron Rodgers, and it's like they didn't even fucking watch what he said on Pat McAfee's show.
They didn't want to watch it.
They watched the first beginning and some sound bites, and that's it. They crucified him over a 1-minute sound bit, and they didn't watch the whole thing. And that's the problem with when we have presidential elections and when we have debates. We give everyone a 2-minute time limit, and we shut them up, or we cut the clips up and show them what we want to show, and we don't make the other full thing available, you know, and or people just don't want to go see it, and it puts everything out of context. So what do I try to do? I try to watch the whole Joe Biden town halls. I try to watch the whole press briefings when I have time, or go back and watch it, as everyone should. And then I cut that shit up and distribute it how I want. I'm just kidding. But, no. But I watch it all because then I can either have my opinion verified, or maybe it'll change my opinion. But
the problem is that you're building your own opinion based off of facts that you do research on. Nowadays, people are so lazy and they have so much at their fingertips that nobody wants to take the time to do their own research, build their own opinion. They just want somebody to tell them what to do. Oh, tell me that I need to take the vaccine. Tell me why. Give me reasons that I can bash other people for not taking it.
This goes to did you see my Facebook post last night?
I think so.
About taxes?
Yeah.
And this is what I want to do, the last topic I want to talk about today. But just my Facebook post. I want not dive into taxes, okay? But my post for you, those of you that didn't read it, I said, if the government implemented a pilot program that said you can volunteer to pay about 2 to 4% more in taxes on top of what you already pay. Okay? And they just want to see who would do it. No one would participate in it.
Nope.
No one would volunteer to do it.
Why would you willingly give up more of the hard-earned money that you...
No one. Not one fucking person. Nobody.
There'd be some stupid people out there.
You know what? They would do it to prove a point. Someone that has money would do it, that's a liberal or you know, that wants to push their agenda. They would do it like some of these people, like congressmen and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they would do it like, oh, I'm paying my fair share. Then once they realize that no one's doing it, they're going to turn around and write it off as a charitable donation and to decrease their taxable income.
Yep.
To get the tax deduction. So, but if what they should do is before they think about raising taxes, they should make it voluntary.
Mm-hmm.
If taxes were voluntary, you know why they're not voluntary? Because no one would fucking pay them. No. So stop advocating for something you wouldn't do.
But the government wouldn't be able to survive without our tax money.
There's ways to do it, though. Do you know there was not always an income tax?
I know. It started in like
1910 or some shit around there.
For one of the wars.
World War I.
Yeah.
I think it may have been a little bit before that. But it's around the turn of the century. Just like tax rates are about an all-time low. Federal
Right
tax
now?
rates, yeah. Percentage-wise, yes. They used to be a lot higher in the 60s. Oh, yeah. But if it was voluntary, no one would pay it.
Nope.
But the pilot program, so I'm not even saying to change what we have, right? Because if there was a pilot program that said, okay, volunteer to pay like 13% of your taxes, and or you'd pay what you would normally pay, some people would actually do that, because it's like, well, if I volunteer to pay 13%, I may end up paying less in what I would pay on normal terms, right? So what I'm saying is the pilot program is you pay what you pay, and then you can volunteer to pay 2 to 4% on top. No one, not nobody, not you, not nobody would pay or would volunteer to do it. It's people don't want to pay taxes. They just want other people to pay taxes for them.
Like I said earlier, people are lazy nowadays. They just want somebody to tell them.
That's not even a laziness thing. That's a I want this rich person to pay it for me. Well, let me tell you something. There's always someone that makes more money than you, or less money than you, right?
All right. It's still a laziness thing because it shows that they don't want to actually work for anything.
Yeah, but you're right. But unless you're Elon Musk, well, and really you're just talking about his net worth. So people make more money every year than him, just not net worth wise. Okay, income wise, though, people make more money. So there's usually always someone that makes more money than you, and there's always someone that makes less than you. Okay. So what the person that makes less than you is expecting you to pay more taxes than them. And you are expecting the person that makes more than you to pay more taxes than them. Mm-hmm. But no one in that line of people actually wants to pay more taxes themselves.
Right.
So stop fucking advocating for something, an increase in something that you yourself won't volunteer to do, that you're not okay with doing yourself. And don't say, well, I'm okay if everyone else does it. No, that's not how it works. If you have a reason to pay extra taxes, whether it be whatever, right, then you would be okay with putting your own money into it because you want, regardless of what everyone else does. Mm-hmm. Like if it's, and the problem is that the reason you don't want to pay more taxes is because you know that the government ain't going to do whatever you want them to do with the money. It's not like, oh, well, I'm going to pay 4% more. Everyone's going to volunteer in this program, and that's going to go towards funding universal Medicare for everyone, right? Mm-hmm. No. That's not going to happen. And you know that's not going to happen. It's going to be irresponsibly used.
Yep.
So, but everyone wants everyone else to do something. The media wants everyone else to do something. They want you to get vaccine. They want to feed this thought of, Aaron Rodgers is a terrible person. Joe Rogan's a terrible person. They took a horse dewormer. Yeah, animals take penicillin and they take amoxicillin. They take a lot of fucking drugs that we take. I've seen people give dogs melatonin. Mm-hmm. They give them Xanax. Mm-hmm. So what's our problem here?
I hate people. I'm telling you, man. I can't. The ignorance of some people is it's beyond me. It's incredible.
And these my body, my choice motherfuckers.
Dumbest people on planet.
That want to, say we can abort a baby up until the fucking end of the third trimester. But they don't want you to be okay with not sticking a fucking needle in your arm that has been around for less than a year. Mm-hmm. Hell, it could be water they're injecting you with. I don't know. Actually, it's not water. It's a little thicker than water. So maybe some oil, real cold oil. Does oil freeze?
No.
Because they have it at real cold temperatures, Oh. So maybe it's just oil. Shit, that's what most of a lot of this stuff is anyway.
Maybe it's nanobots.
Yeah, it could be whatever. But I think I've started thinking a little more left since I've taken the vaccine.
Sounds like it.
I'm kidding. I've actually probably gotten a little more right. But the Aaron Rodgers thing has really pissed me off, and it's really unfair for people to say, oh, well, we need to do it for lying. And he endangered his team. How about all the vaccinated people that went out and got COVID? Who were they fucking around with? Mm-hmm. So actually, they're more at risk of their team. Devontae Adams fucked my fantasy team up and may cost me money because I lost, because his ass was probably out talking to someone who got COVID. You're only a danger to your team if you're going out and doing things like that, right? And doing whatever it is that increases your risk of getting COVID, vaccinated or not. Mm-hmm. The only way you're not a danger to your team is if you're fucking never, ever talking to anyone. Because you know why all this is funny? First of all, the NFL said that you're supposed to do Zoom conferences and not see anyone, blah, 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 if you're vaccinated, right? They didn't say anything. The team knew he wasn't vaccinated in the NFL, and they didn't say anything until he tested positive. You know why? They wanted to put a good product on the field with Aaron Rodgers. They wanted him to go out and perform and put a good football game on TV and make that money. And then now they're going to feed this bullshit to everyone once he tests positive. And all these fucking commentators, these Hall of Famers, and Shannon Sharpe, who thinks he's smarter than everyone because he's a fucking Hall of Famer in the football team, which he's not very fucking smart. Unless you're a damn quarterback or a center or maybe a middle linebacker, you're probably not that fucking smart. I mean, there's a lot of smart guys, but not all of them. All right? not every NFL football player is like some genius. Not even close. Hell, half of them we know would have failed out of college if it wasn't given to them. Mm-hmm. All right. And I played football. Like, I played Division I football. Am I a Hall of Famer? No. You know, I'd love to have been a slave in the NFL, but I didn't have that. I wasn't slave material, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wasn't what they were looking for. Not because I'm white either, apparently, because they like white slaves. But, and some Asian slaves, they have an Asian one. They have a young ho.
Mm-hmm. Young Hoku.
Yep. And actually, Tony Romo is a Mexican. So he was a Mexican slave in the NFL. But white people, they're white indentured servants in the NFL. They're not slaves. That's what they call white people, slaves. So, but yeah, gosh. And I know you were getting pissed about this, but I've been aggravated for the last few days when I saw how much shit Aaron Rodgers was getting over this. And when I saw, after I watched the Pat McAfee interview, and I'm like, they didn't even listen to it? And this is up until 6 hours ago. This thing's been out all weekend. This is up to 6 hours ago that they were talking all this shit saying he should be suspended. And people on Twitter saying they should fry his ass. I mean, hell, it's like just short of saying execute the guy because he said he was immunized and he didn't take the vaccine. Shut the fuck up.
He's better off than anybody with the vaccine. Hate to break it to people.
Now he is.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Speaking of him being better off than anybody else, and I don't know if I've said this before, I may have, but somebody from the gym that I work out at, they got tested to check their antibodies to check with COVID and all that good stuff. And when theirs came back, they basically they had none, like none whatsoever. And granted, I haven't done it, but I've seen multiple different people who have. And to see the antibodies they have after recovering from COVID, this is no comparison. That vaccine does almost nothing for you.
Well, it works different than like the traditional vaccine. They're not giving the mRNA one's not. I think the J&J is giving you the virus, but the mRNA one's not giving you the virus. It's not working the same. So
right,
I don't think you're building the antibodies.
But the concept of it is it's supposed to be putting something dealing with COVID inside of your body so that your body can build the protein molecules or whatever they are that fight against it so that when you do get COVID, your body already has a defense built up. Mm-hmm. That is the press behind the vaccines.
Yes.
And
you're not...
It doesn't work.
You are not... This is what I just can't fucking stand when it comes to Biden saying this and these other people saying it. And this is Republicans, Democrats, everyone says it. I see it from everyone. Okay? Mm-hmm. You're endangering other people by not getting vaccinated. No, you're fucking not.
Well,
you're endangering yourself.
They're right. You are, because the vaccine doesn't work. They just don't want to say that. Why else would you be endangering people? If it worked...
I'm being devil's advocate because you keep saying it doesn't work, okay? You're saying it doesn't work up to like your standards of what you think a vaccine should do. Because it does work a little bit as far as helping you deal with the virus.
Okay, that's fine.
We're not going to sit here and say don't get vaccinated. I'm vaccinated. I'm not going to tell people not to get vaccinated. Cool. I'm just saying it's not what people are making it to be.
Let's put it like this. Hey, I'm going to go get in a car crash. I'm going to break my femur. You know what? I'm going to break both my femurs. Just because. But you know what? I'm going to take some... I'm going to take some Advil, because Advil is going to help me.
Or fentanyl. Or you take fentanyl and kill the pain.
Yeah, I don't need anything else.
Gotcha.
Because that's what does it. Same concept. It's a same exact concept. I'm not going to go do something for me to fix my femurs because somebody told me that this right here is going to help me. Because why? Because political reasons and because of financial gain.
Yeah.
I hate to burst people's bubble, but that the COVID-19 vaccine is you're doing more harm to yourself than helping
yourself. You're doing more unknown to yourself. We don't know the full harm because I take it I've been fine.
No, I mean there are and granted,
but it's only been a month, so I don't know.
It hasn't been that long with COVID, the vaccine around, and all that kind of stuff. But there have already been reports. There's already numbers. There's already data pulling towards the fact that you are worse off with the vaccine than you are without it. You have a higher probability of having issues with the vaccine than you do without it. 100%. There's multiple reports out there.
Someone who's gotten COVID, though, you're saying?
Right. No,
Someone who hasn't gotten COVID?
People who have the vaccine.
No, I'm saying someone who's not vaccinated but hasn't gotten COVID.
Correct. I'm just talking about the vaccine period. I'm not talking about COVID. Just the vaccine period. Getting the vaccine period, you are more apt to getting issues later on down the road. If
there are issues. So I think I see where you're getting. You're saying that there's risk with the vaccine. It may be minimal, but there's risk. And you're taking in right now I'm perfectly healthy. And then I go and I get the vaccine. You're taking on an unknown risk, but some type of risk, be it 1% or 50% chance of whatever happening.
Correct.
You're taking on a risk that you necessarily didn't need to take on.
Correct.
Now, my argument just against that, some people in certain age brackets is probably better off to take on that risk because the risk of them getting COVID and having an issue is far worse. Like older people or fat people, unhealthy people. Okay. Now, hold on, I think I know where you're about to say with this, but so there are certain classes of people that probably benefit if you're looking at a risk comparison. Okay. Someone like myself, you're right. That fits into what you're talking about. Because I'm healthy, I'm 29 years old, okay, I probably would have done fine with COVID, but I don't know, and I really didn't have a reason to get it. Because my brother gets tested all the time. He got vaccinated because he plays football, and they didn't force him, but, wanted him to. And I for whatever reason, the doctor just sold me on doing it, I guess, and I was just a whatever decision, okay? But I probably took on more risk of something happening than if I got COVID, because I would have gotten sick for COVID for a couple of days, but I would have recovered and then had good antibodies. But there are certain people that you have a lot higher chance of dying from COVID or having a serious complication if you're older, right? Or you're not very healthy. Someone who has asthma, maybe, because it affects your lungs and all that. So I'm not going to say that it really just a personal. It depends on who it is, but you still shouldn't force someone to do it. But it also depends on who it is. Like my dad has leukemia, so he went and got it, right? Because COVID, he doesn't. I mean, but then again, I think he said that they haven't had any issues with people like that. I don't know, but he got it for whatever reason. Okay, but I think where you were going to go with this is that if you are a healthy person, or even the unhealthy people, so like the fat people that say, "Oh, I have." I'm heavier and I'm not as healthy. Well, you're taking on the risk anyway of being unhealthy. You could go eat right and exercise and get healthier, and then you decrease the risk of all the other shit that you have a lot, more of a higher probability of dying from, like heart disease and diabetes and cancer. And you're going to be able to fight off COVID better because you have a healthier immune system, and you're going to be better off after having COVID. I think that's where you're going to go with that. Right? All right. So I understand that. And I agree with you. I'm just saying that there are certain people that if there was something that could be done, you should do it.
I agree. But I guess my entire point behind that is it still goes back to the same thing. You need to do your own research. You need to do what's best for yourself. And you need to understand that this virus that everybody lost their mind about and that Aaron Rodgers is getting crucified for has an incredibly high survival rate. It's almost fully survivable without anything. Again, I'll preface that with saying people who need to take it, do your research, go take it if you need to, but for the 98 or 99% of the population that'll be fine, you should think about it before you do it.
Yes, do your research. And had a thought I was gonna. Let me think here. I can't remember what the hell I was about to say about it, but I gotta hate seeing someone just be scolded because he said he was immunized and he wasn't. You know, a big fucking deal. If you have a problem, go get fucking vaccinated. Because it's not eradicating the disease. It's always going to be there.
Yeah, it will never. This vaccine will never get rid of COVID. That's not.
The only way we would get rid of it, Zach, is if every person got it, and within 3 months, a 3-month time, and we all had the antibodies, and then it couldn't get back into anyone. So, I told Britt about the shutdowns. You know, like when they want to shut everything down. If you're gonna have a shutdown that works, you have to lock everybody down. The police, farmers, everybody. I know what I was gonna say. I can't remember who it was, but Biden was talking about the supply chain stuff, and he says that, you know, the reason why we don't have food on our table, or why Americans are worried about food being on the table because they can't find things in the grocery store, was because the people that were creating the food, referring to farmers, and the people that were packaging the food were getting COVID, and that's why you need to go get vaccinated. I almost fell on my fucking chair because my dad's a farmer, all right? And during the entire pandemic last year, there was never a food shortage. There's a lot of fucking toilet paper that was being bought, but we didn't have any food shortages. All right, I never, even with everyone panic buying, maybe a 1 or 2 days, it was like, okay, I can't find anything, then you go back, and then it was there. There was not a supply chain shortage of food. Okay, so why is there now when we have a vaccine? We didn't have a vaccine, and everyone was getting COVID, and everyone was truly scared, and the fucking economy was shut down, and those farmers worked every day. Those truckers worked every day. Those essential workers worked every day. Nurses worked every day. And we still have a pandemic going on, but you want to fire them? Or you're going to shut them down because of COVID? Or apparently they're getting COVID now and they're shutting down. Hell, how many people got COVID last year and they've already had it? How many of them are vaccinated now? Nothing is changing. It's getting worse, and there's a vaccine. And it's not because the farmers are shutting down. It's because you're making us rely on other countries for our food. That's the issue. You're doing things that's taking away from production here in the United States, and it's starting to show. It's not because people are getting COVID. People have been getting COVID for over a year, but these problems are only coming up now. Because, hell, I was able to get my shit. I could order anything fast off Amazon and get it last year. During the pandemic. The only thing you couldn't get was toilet paper.
Yep.
Because people were tired of wiping up all the bullshit they were hearing.
We're going around in circles.
I told you it was going to be a good one today.
We're going around in circles.
So, we'll end there. I know Zach's tired of talking about COVID. If you guys haven't checked out the YouTube channel, go check it out. Real Conservative Talk. Also, Zach, I found a new passion, and that is trolling people on Twitter. And if you guys want to laugh at something, please go follow our Twitter page at Real Conservative Talk, or the handle is at RCT Podcast. I really hope to see some new followers on there because I am trolling the shit out of people, and it is funny. And catch it while you can, because I probably won't be on there much longer. So we'll end there, and we'll be back on tomorrow. Have a good night.